if you could repeat, last month's meeting where you talked about removing the liens for, CDBG?
Is that your question?
Yes. Is she there?
She's there.
Hi, Mayor, can you just ask her to make all her comments and ask her questions, and then you can direct me to answer, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, and then I guess that the follow-up question would be, what about people who have already paid or have started to pay? What's going to happen with that? Because there's obviously people who haven't paid, and then those are going to be removed. But what about the people who have actually started making payments or have already paid, like my grandmother who paid 23 years ago and it still has a lien on her property. So
Are those two your questions?
those two are my questions. And then also, I just wondered if the city manager is an independent contractor or is she employed by the city? That's my third question. Thank you.
Thank you. So, did you want to address the first question?
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you to Ms. Montañez. Yes, and I don't have the exact date in front of me, but the city council, after considerable discussion and deliberation, decided to go ahead and forgive the outstanding CDBG loans concerning rehab, only concerning rehab. And a resolution was adopted. The your city manager and city staff have been working on making sure there's a list and that they can send letters to all the current borrowers who still have outstanding debts to let them know how this will work, and also to prepare what are called reconveyances so that any cloud on the title for the property will be removed through the filing of the reconveyance documents with the county recorder's office. As far as what about people who paid, I think it's similar to the federal forgiveness of student loans. You know, a lot of things have happened there as well, and those loans are forgiven, but there is nothing that the city can do at this time with respect to people who have already paid. And that was one of the things that the council considered for not approving anything. But then at the end of the day, the council said, well, we'd rather just go ahead and proceed and at least go ahead and forgive the outstanding loans. So that's pretty much that. And as far as the city manager is an employee, but she is employed by virtue of a contract, like pretty much every city manager in the state.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comments?
I did have one more.
Sorry.
Angelina,
Sorry.
¿quieres hablar del home program? Que sabes, la gente que ya han pagado.
No sé mucho, pero voy a preguntar.
Ajá.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Angelina Aguilar y me gustaría saber del programa que está hablando la señora de los que ya pagaron su deuda de las casas, si les van a quitar el lien o no. Y a mí también me gustaría saber si a mí me van a ayudar, porque yo he mirado que a mucha gente le están quitando el lien de su casa. Ahorita no quiero entrar en muchos detalles, pero ustedes saben que hay mucha gente aquí en San Joaquín que debe a la ciudad y les quitaron el lien. Y a mí me gustaría saber también qué puedo hacer para que me ayuden a mí también a quitarme el lien de mi casa. Tengo que tener amistad con alguien de ustedes, tengo que tener algún familiar, o cómo le puedo hacer, porque yo he sabido de personas que les han quitado el lien. Esa es mi pregunta y tengo otra. Me gustaría saber ustedes qué han salido a hacer, a buscar aquí para la comunidad. Porque yo tengo entendido que Julia acá, Evo ya tienen años aquí. Y yo no he visto ningún progreso en San Joaquín. Yo he mirado en otras ciudades que están progresando como Kerman. Mendoza poquito, pero va mejor que nosotros. Del crimen vamos igual, porque pues también aquí han pasado muchas cosas. Y que pues yo no he visto que hagan algo sobre eso, ¿verdad? Y eso es lo que me gustaría saber. ¿Qué van a hacer ustedes? ¿Qué pensamientos tienen para ayudar a la comunidad? Si en verdad les importa la comunidad o nada más están ustedes para tener beneficios aquí de la aseguranza que tienen. Eso es lo que a mí me gustaría saber y quisiera que me contestaran, porque pues nunca contestan las preguntas a veces que uno hace, porque pues miro que no llega nada a este pueblo, nada, ninguno de ustedes sale a buscar, ninguno quiere dejar la comodidad, ninguno quiere dejar un día de trabajar, hacer algo por la comunidad. Y a mí me gustaría saber qué va a pasar con ustedes, si están interesados en el pueblo, si en verdad les importa el pueblo, porque todos ustedes aquí se criaron, aquí en San Joaquín. Y pues yo no miro que ustedes digan, ay, voy a traer, como tú, Julia, cuando trabajabas en Proteus, yo nunca miraba que trajeras ningún programa, nada aquí. Y ahora pues menos, ¿verdad? Y quisiera saber qué va a pasar, qué van a hacer. Eso es para todos ustedes. Luego pues cada rato falla las juntas. Y quisiera saber ustedes qué piensan hacer para ayudar a la comunidad y si en verdad la comunidad les importa. Y gracias.
Gracias, Angelina. Can you just answer the question on the differences, because I think she's under a different program, not necessarily under the program that Hildred, that we were just talking about, that food forgiveness.
So as far as the home, I mean, yeah, right, there's the CDBG rehabilitation program, and then there's the home program. The home program is for first-time home buyers, and the CDBG rehab program was for rehabilitation of the home, right? Although they're both under HUD, they're under different programs of HUD, and so they each have their separate set of guidelines. Ultimately, CDBG, the reason why council was able to consider forgiving the loans was because that is allowed within the guidelines. However, with home, based on HUD guidelines, that is not something that is allowed. So it's not something that we can bring to council for consideration because the HUD guidelines does not allow that. But I'm not sure what else.
Yeah. ¿Sí entendiste, Angelina?
Poquito, pero sí.
Okay.
I
So
guess
el programa que tú tienes es diferente al programa que está hablando Lidia. El programa del que se está perdonando o se les está quitando los liens es un programa donde las personas aplicaron para rehabilitar sus casas. Totalmente diferentes bajo la misma pariaguas, pero son diferentes y cada uno tiene sus reglamentos o sus requisitos de elegibilidad diferentes. El programa que tú tienes es para compradores por primera vez. So, cuando compraste tu casa, en ese tiempo calificaste como comprador por primera vez. El programa que se está discutiendo, que discutió Hilde ahorita, que se va a perdonar, este programa, aunque esté bajo la misma pariaguas, tiene la posibilidad de que se pueda tomar esa acción. El programa donde estás tú con tu préstamo, ese no tiene esa oportunidad.
I would like to say yes, that she has told me about numerous people in the community who have refinanced with their banks with the home program, and the city has failed to file a reconveyance for those homes. I don't know all of them, but you know, that's something like, say for instance, my grandmother was CDBG. It's been 23 years and the city has failed to file a reconveyance. There's people in the home program who have paid off their debt to the city, and the city has failed.
So in those instances, do they come to the city or do they go to the home program?
So
Exactly.
City.
so if somebody pays off, then we'll get the request, right, from the title company for a payoff. Depending on when they paid off their debt, so currently we are doing the process, right, we're the ones that do the reconveyance. historically, there was a period of time when the title company was doing it, it was not us internally. And they failed, some of them, the companies failed to do it, so we've cleaned some of that up as we are made aware of them. So there have been a few that have, that I've been made aware of, and we've gone back to the title company that originally handled it. And mind you, some of these title companies have changed, names and owners and stuff and so on, so some of them have come back and done it at no cost to us because they've recognized that they did not do it, and so they've helped us through the process. You know, but again, as far as some of the CDBG, all of that, we're kind of cleaning up together as we're doing as we're moving forward with this loan forgiveness component of it. If all of those that we're aware of, that may still have a lien on the property, we're working on getting those removed as well. But as far as the home, I mean,